So we've got my tea that's too hot to drink right now. We've adjusted the lighting a little bit. I think it's a little better. Now, the main things I do every month are my payday routine, which is largely automatic because a lot of them are automatic transfers that come out. But then the biggest thing I do is align my social calendar and any other bookings. Okay, the steam is like messing up the camera's lens here, so I'm just gonna move my mug. And aligning my social calendar to my budget, i.e. making sure my sinking fund has enough money in it to get me through all the things that I have planned on my social calendar. So the first step for me is always downloading my transactions from my credit card, the main credit card that I use for everything, and my current account. My current account's got not that many transactions in it because everything mainly goes through my credit card, and the things that do go through my current account are largely just essential expenses. My essential expenses get paid from a joint account because I share that with my partner, so it's like one big lump sum that comes out of my current account every month. And this month is great because I got some extra days that I bought through my company. I bought extra holiday days which come out of my salary, and if you don't use them all, they just get refunded because obviously quite nice of them not to take my money for free. That refund came through, so it's a nice little bit of cash to, so it's just a nice little bit of cash to play around with. It's nothing much, but you know, green is always great. Just changing the camera angle over here. A big tip I have for you to make this whole process, especially with budgeting, a lot easier: do not download your statement, download your transactions. If you download your transactions, you can get them as a Excel format or a tabular format that then you can copy across to whatever you use for your budgeting. I use Google Sheets. Whereas if you download your statement, it will be most likely a PDF file with like words and stuff on it, so it's harder to actually manipulate, and it just adds a lot more friction to actually just getting this process done. Okay, so I've just spent a little bit of time categorizing the transactions from my credit card and my current account, and I am pleasantly surprised. There's a little bit of work that I did for social media that I've not been paid for yet. Shock. So my income is a tiny bit lower than I budgeted for, but obviously it's not that big a deal because I wasn't budgeting for anything depending on that money. I also have separated business income and business expenses on the sheet, so they don't really impact on like my day-to-day finances anyway. And I was just running through the little money I got back for the holidays I refunded is something I completely forgot when I was actually setting up my budget for the year. So that's a nice little bonus, even like on the sheets. And in terms of essential costs, everything is looking pretty on point because they've not really changed. My essential costs aren't that variable because I tend to pay the same-ish amount for gas and electricity anyway, even though that's higher than we want it to be. The only thing I went slightly under budget on was my food shops, and that's mainly because I was traveling a lot this month and didn't actually eat at home that much. Now, where I have gone over by quite a bit is my non-essential costs, and that is primarily because of last minute birthday dinners that I didn't account for in my calendar, and getting my hair done, which I also didn't account for in my calendar. Getting my hair done is something I book quite last minute. Last minute for me is like with 3 weeks notice. Another expense that crept up on me was gift giving. There were a couple of wedding gifts that I had ordered that finally kind of started being made and I was actually charged for, so those are also costs that I forgot, but I knew they were coming, so they should have been in my budget, but they weren't. And then another big cost has just been travel, and that has just been because of having to go to my parents' house for personal issues and also to travel for my podcast, which I'm releasing with 2 of my friends. I have not spoken much about this on my channel as yet, but I'm not sure when this video is coming out, therefore I'm not sure when the details of all the podcast related activity will be out, but I'm hoping we'll be able to link the podcast channel in the description and you can just check that out. However, this has been separated into a business expense. But as you can see, as much as I try to align my social calendar to my budget, there's always things I forget. Most of the time it's just because I'm invited to things last minute, which I don't really mind because I do have the wee buffer in my fun money fund. My savings are all on track and they are all primarily for my holidays upcoming this year, so I'm just literally shoveling money into a sinking fund so that I have money to spend on holidays. And then any extra money I have left over is just going to a smaller pot to redo my kitchen and my bathroom, which is something I just really want to do, because I live in a really old tenement and we've got really dated rooms which are annoying to clean. I hate being in them and they need to be redone. Not even for aesthetic reasons, just for purely like functional reasons. I am personally quite proud of the fact that I have not gone overboard with spending money on clothing and other bits of personal care. I got items this month that I can actually count on my hand. One of them was even on my wish list, so happy about that. My investments were also all automatic. As you guys know, I just have a standing order to my stocks and shares ISA for my index funds and a standing order for my crypto, which is weekly. But it's something I invest like a very small amount of money in, and purely just to kind of see what happens and stay in the loop with it. And that is pretty much it. From a business perspective, I have made some investments into outsourcing some bits and also investing into the podcast as well. Those figures, I really want to go into them once we have maybe a bit more of a ball running with the podcast and also with the YouTube channel. I really want to show you guys how investing into a little side hustle like this can actually help, if it does help. So it's kind of an experiment that I'm seeing out, and then maybe I can make some videos on it in the future. Now, another really fun part of my monthly reset, goals tracking. So goals, we really fell off the wagon, I think, this month, personally, with self-care and movement. And that's purely because I wasn't really in one place every single week, which is a tiny bit frustrating for someone who is trying to build a routine and trying to get into habits. We'll take what worked this month, take it into next month, and just keep doing it and make minor adjustments. So the goals that didn't work for me were swimming once a week. This is because I purely just didn't have the time and energy, and I don't know if I'm just telling myself this, but I really want to swim once a week. I think I need to find like a nice pool with a nice sauna and then make it kind of a ritual, so it's not just like I'm going there to swim and get out. It's like I'm going there, swimming, having a nice little sauna, maybe a little workout, and it's like an evening event. And another thing which I really wanted to do was a 30-minute daily walk. Now, I ended up doing 30 minutes of daily walking most days, but they weren't intentional. Like, they were just walks I had to do to get from A to B, or a 30-minute daily walk worth of steps that I got during the day because of whatever I was doing that day. There was no intentionality. I don't know if that's a word. The walks weren't intentional, basically, and I kind of want to improve that in February, because walks I can do no matter where I am. They are not location specific. My daily self-care micro habits, journaling while drinking coffee, was pretty much a hit. Wasn't too bad with that. There were a lot of mornings where I was waking up quite anxious and then just get on with my day instead of doing anything self-care related, which I kind of want to avoid doing. And I think to do that next month, I'm going to try and incorporate 10 minutes of to do that next month. I just want to incorporate 10 minutes of getting up earlier so that I have 10 minutes extra to think about things and I'm not rushing to just get the day started. And reading my manifesto regularly. I have written myself a manifesto, and it's more of a, like, I don't want to say Bible, sheet for me to read every morning that just gets me pumped for who I want to be, and I want to read it every morning just to like keep myself aligned. And I haven't been doing that recently, and I've like, actively not been doing it. I've thought, okay, I should read my manifesto this morning, and I've thought, no, I'm not in the right mindset to do it. But that's kind of completely the wrong way to go about reading something motivational and like affirmational in the morning anyway. You should always just read it and it'll put you in the right mindset, right? That's how it works. Running really dropped off the wagon towards the end of the month, but this is purely because of just not being in one place and not having access to a gym and not having access to the time I would need to run for the length I want, but then also like shower and get ready and stuff in between. So this, I kind of need to think about planning my week around the run rather than trying to squeeze the run into my week, because I think that might work a little bit better next month. My YouTube journey and my YouTube goals, I feel really proud of myself for, because I feel like I'm back into a bit of a rhythm with YouTube. One thing I did do this month was bulk film and bulk edit a lot of stuff, and I just need to continue that for the rest of the year, and I think I'll be sorted. And my travel related / financial goals of saving 2k towards travel hit. And that's all because of my automatic transfers and the fact that I was literally too busy to spend any money impulsively. Another final thing I love to do with my goals is just doing a little bit of a reflection. Now, I do this reflection in a separate page on my goals, in my goals tracker, where I will just write a paragraph on how I think the month went, what I want to take into the next month, and what strategies are working versus what strategies are not working, just to generally get, you know, an idea of if I am aiming too high or aiming too low. So my monthly reflection is just a paragraph, whereas my weekly reflection in my agenda on my Notion calendar is something that I like to do every week, and it has more specific questions. And the questions that I've gotten are, what are my current top 3 priorities in life, and where do I truly want to invest my time and energy? What ways am I spending time on things that aren't my priorities, and how could I cut back on that? What's on my not to-do list this week? What I learned this week, what I'm grateful for, what I spend too much time worrying about, and if it will be important in 5 years, weeks, or days. I think this is a really nice way to just not even reprioritize the things I am worrying about, but think about the bigger picture, like my bigger yearly goals. Am I doing things that align to that on a daily basis? And for me, it helps to think about this because I get so sidetracked and I get so worried about little things that don't actually matter, that I'm just worrying about for the sake of worrying about. And sometimes this weekly review can just help realign me and remind me that those other things are just distractions, they're just noise. I have my goals, I've set my sight on a couple of things I want to achieve. I can just focus on that for the year. But at the same time, the world's not going to end if I don't. Talking about my wish list, which is, you know, I have loved my wish list. It's really taken me places throughout the years, and it's given the things I buy so much more meaning. And so I wanted to talk to you about my wish list because it's a wish list that is now connected to my goals, because I mentioned in my goals video that I kind of want to invest in a couple of dresses this year and potentially rent them out for a lot of weddings I have on. And one dress I have my eye on is this Christopher Esper silk satin long sleeve dress, but I'm just not sure if it's if it's the wrong kind of dress to wear to a wedding in Italy, but I don't even know if it's rentable as well. So I'm gonna pop a picture of it on the screen and you guys tell me what you think. Like, would you rent this dress? Am I being over the top with this dress? Because but also I don't know if it would count as a business investment if it is going to be rented out. Another thing I have on my wish list is proper suitcases, and I've been looking at the Base ones, or the Base, BEIS brand, Away, Monos, and Level 28 on Amazon, and I'm not sure which ones to get. Basically, I want a really sturdy suitcase that has 360 wheels, because I've never had a suitcase with 360 wheels, and with all the travel I've been doing recently, I swear to God, there's nothing that makes me feel wrath like trying to drag a heavy suitcase on cobbles, and I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it. So I want 360 wheels. I also don't know whether to get a smaller suitcase or a larger one first. Might get the smaller one just to see if it actually is worth it, and also I just can't wait for a luxurious life where I'm not stressing out my suitcase before it's even packed. Another thing that's on my wish list is dark wash roll-up denim jeans. So I am visualizing all the outfits I can wear with this pair of jeans. My Birkenstocks, my cool trainers, my Birkenstock Bostons, cool trainers, boots. I think the dark wash just goes really well with the majority of colours in my wardrobe right now, and I don't actually have a dark wash denim, so, well, apart from black and grey. So maybe I don't need it. But it's on my wish list, so it's not like I'm urgently trying to get it, but if I see it, I might get it. And then the final thing I added to my wish list, I don't know who I think I am these days, genuinely. No idea who I think I am. But I added a £725 jumper to my wish list. And it's a Loewe anagram sweater. I don't even know what colour I want. There's two I'm stuck between. There's a wee green one and a lilac one, and I like them both. And I have no idea when I'm going to buy these, but they're so cute. And they're like slightly see-through, they're like open knit, and I love all the outfits I've seen them in. And there's absolutely no reason for me to be buying a Loewe jumper, but it's on my wish list. It's not on my transactions list, and that's what matters. But yeah, those are the recent additions to my wish list. if you want to go through my entire wish list together, I'm kind of thinking about doing a series on that on TikTok. So let me know if I should do that, because I would love to see other people's wish lists, slash not really, because mine's already long enough. So guys, that's the end of my weekly reset. It's my monthly reset. It's literally February tomorrow. Let me know if you guys do a monthly reset and what kind of things you like to touch up on. I am gonna do a food shop tonight, a little bit of cleaning, have a long AF shower, and get into bed and journal. And I'm so happy about how basic that sounds. I'll see you in the next one.